And Sam, and welcome to What Are We Doing Here?
Let's get yapping.
Should we say hello?
Hello.
Hellos. And thank you for tuning in to our third podcast episode.
Our episode.
Great start.
We should start over. We're doing great.
No, we're leaving the first one. That's not working.
Podcast episode
of What Are We Doing Here? We just want to start off by saying thank you so much for the likes, the follows, following us on Instagram and YouTube and Spotify. We see it. The comments are so nice. Bri and I are, I'm in my basement, you're in
my kitchen.
And we're just talking to each other, so it feels like a one-on-one conversation, and to be building a community of yappers just like us that can follow along with our tangents has been really cool and really nice.
We love it so much.
So much. On that note, I have two updates about the podcast from last week.
Ooh, and Sam hasn't told me about this, so I don't know what she's about to say right now. She kept saying, I have two updates. Oh, wait, I'm going to tell you. I have two updates. Oh, wait, I'm going to tell you. So for us to try to keep stuff from each other until this podcast.
This has been a different process. Like, usually I'm sending you voice messages every day, and now I'm sending them still to you, but I'm saying I'm going to try not to talk about it a ton right now, but I'm going to tell you a little bit because it's on my mind. But, so, wow. Yeah. Words.
You're doing great.
We're doing great. Update number 1. Bri finally knows what bugles are.
Yes. Ha ha ha! Not to be confused with beluga whales.
Definitely not beluga whales.
Bugles. Yeah.
Do you see why people put them on their figures now?
Yes.
So that was funny. Second update. I still have not purchased the Amazon Ninja Creamy Pints that I talked about wanting last week.
No?
Nope.
Is it because you're saving it for a big order? Because, problem. Yep. You can, guess what? I'm sure it's on Prime. You could have had it like 3-4 days ago.
And I keep complaining when I have to wash the cup every time to make new ice cream, and I haven't bought it, and it's been a week.
Yeah.
So, those are my two updates. Maybe I'll get better. Maybe I'll cancel my Amazon. Unknown. But that's where I stand, and that's how my week's been going today.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
My week has been just so unbelievably busy, I feel like.
Yeah. What went on today that you were like, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't. And I was like, what is happening? You're like, I can't talk to you about it right now. I'll talk to you later. And I was like, okay. So tell me what happened. What was going on?
So just a backstory. If you follow me on Instagram, and Bri obviously got an audio message, I do like car jam parties. I used to do them when I was going to work. It was really helping, like when I was in a bad mental place when I was working. I would do car jam parties to like release the tension from work, reset into a new space and whatever. And so I still do that now when I go out, and I was so unbelievably overwhelmed. I feel like I've just been so busy this week, and it's not even, yes, I've been like more busy this week than like, let's say last week, but I don't know what I'm doing with my time. I have half a hand painted. Dude, I painted this hand last Sunday. It has been a week of living like this, and so I feel like this is a pure outward sign of how my brain is feeling at the moment.
You're half completing tasks, is what I'm getting.
I'm half completing tasks. And I know, like, the main biggest reason is I haven't gotten back into my workout schedule. I did 2 hot yoga or hot works.
Hot works?
Yep. Hot works class last week, and that was really good, and I was so excited. I texted you after that day and being like, I'm so excited. This has gotten me back into my workouts. But that was Wednesday, and I just haven't gotten back into it. And I used to work out, pretty consistently, and still falling off. And as long as you get back on, you're still consistent. That's the word consistency, I could go on a tangent, but I won't right now. But that's for another day. But getting myself back into it because I was sick for 2 months with, I thought bronchitis. Turns out I have fucking asthma.
Go team asthma. I don't have asthma, but I feel for you.
You just want to be on my team?
I'm always on your team.
You're right.
I'm always on your team.
I was sick for so long, and then that just really screwed it. So I know that's like the main reason why I'm feeling overwhelmed, is because I keep not feeling like I have time to do a workout. And I'm coming up with every excuse, everything. I'm not getting up any earlier to do the workouts. I tried to convince myself to do a workout at lunch and then at dinner. I know that I am not going to work out after work. I learned that. It's how I started working out for 4 years. Actually, 5 years now, because it's 2025. That's so weird. Do you still mess it up at work?
No, because
Really?
I know I've actually been really good about it. Even though like the year of the cases starts in 24, I've actually been really good about writing 25, and I don't know why, because usually that's the biggest thing is the first month after the new year. It's like everyone is crossing out. And so in forensics, if you mess up when doing an initials or date, if you mess up anything, writing anything or whatever, you can't like, oh, I'm going to scribble this out and I'm going to write it over. No, you have to leave it there. You have one strike through. And then
line.
One line, one strike through, and then you have to initial and date that and then put the correct thing next to it and also date that as well. So it's like if you mess up the date, so if I wrote 24 instead of 25, I would have to cross out the 4, write the 5, and then initial and date it that, hey, I messed up here. I can't like, oh, whoop, and everything's in pen or Sharpie. There's no pencils. There's no
Sharpie.
eraser. Yeah. Okay,
There's
anyways,
no
continue.
eraser.
No, we're not missing up the date.
Not only are you on top of your life with that, but last week you told us all about being on top of your chapsticks. So clearly 2025 is your year.
Whoa! I can go through a whole chapstick and I can write the date correctly. We're off to a good start.
Especially the longest month of January this year has ever been. But anyway,
back to we have not gotten to why you're overwhelmed. We went backstory to car jams, and then we went to workouts. So you think workouts, which we're going to talk about accountability.
Yeah, the main reason that I've been feeling overwhelmed is that I'm not making time to do a workout, so I feel like I don't have time, and so that's making me feel like I can't take care of myself, hence why I have half a hand. But I don't know what I've been doing with that time, so I think that's the main reason. And then today we're putting up, or yesterday we put up a shed for my neighbor and made it all nice and put it up. And then today Hunter went and got like pea gravel and the pavers and to make it look really, really nice. And he was doing that. And I felt like today I had to do things. Like I was putting imaginary rules, like we talked about, that we shouldn't do. But I was putting imaginary rules on, it's Sunday, I have to go grocery shopping, I have to cook. And I dreaded cooking. And so that I was grocery shopping being like, I have to grocery shop, and Hunter gets to do fun things, and I'm grocery shopping, and so I've just been feeling like I'm not having fun or get to do what I want to do.
Question. I have a couple questions.
Figured.
One, you say that you're not making time to work out, you're making excuses as to why. Do you feel like you don't want to work out? Is it because you've been sick? Do you want to do something else that's like active but isn't like a workout? Like why do you, because you were always really good about in this hour during lunch or before I start work, like I'm going to do 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes, it's 20 minutes, like it's really quick, it's really easy. And so for me to hear you go, I'm not doing it, but I feel like I'm not, like I don't know what I'm doing with that time. I want to know if you're like scared to get back into it. Like, why are you hesitant about just doing it? Do you know?
I think that's a great question. I think I have 2 answers. One, I feel like a chubby potato. And so, because I haven't worked out in 2 months, which is like, duh, that's what happens. And I'm not fat, just more chubby than I would like to feel comfortable in my body. So it feels like I'm starting over. And then secondly, it's just not taking my own advice of like, it's only 20 minutes. So like, of course you have 20 minutes. So I think it's like part I feel pudgy and 2, like it's just me being not lazy, but just being like, just avoid it, just making pure excuses.
Avoidance.
Yeah. Just
that's fine. No, I get that. So when I'm like, how do I want to word this question to you?
go for it.
So you don't feel good in your body now.
Yep.
Is that going to change by you not doing workouts?
No. Literally no.
Every time you've gone to Hot Works, every time you went on a walk, you go, oh my God, I feel so much better. I have so much energy. I do whatever. But I also think that you're like, you're sounding like you fell off the wagon and that you're like, well, I was so good about being on it and now I fell off. So like, why the fuck am I going to get back on? Mm-hmm. So what's your motivation to get back into workouts? What is your goal to do them again? Because I think you've either lost that or you're just going, I can do something else with my time that's beneficial to me. And so that is ranking higher than your workout. And so it's like, does that make sense?
I think that's a good point too, is like this month specifically, I've done a lot of things that have been really exciting and a lot of other event activities like this podcast. Haven't been doing that before. So I've been doing that and like that's been fun. And then doing the gardening, like my time is going to other things that I don't want to say are more important, but are definitely very high on that priority that are kind of the same spot as working out right now. So like my time is being spent in things that I enjoy doing other things. But I think the why of wanting to get back into it, I think needs to change. I think my mind right now is physical. And for me, staying consistent or starting back up, when it becomes physical, you don't want to do it because then it's like self-hated. You're like trying to change your body with fitness versus me. The reason I had stayed consistent, the reason that I was able to do it is always for my mental health. And I think my mental health could really use it because my shoulders, I've had a headache. I don't think I told you this for the last 4 days straight. It is driving me up a wall because my shoulders are so tight because I have been so stressed. And so I think
you're doing it. Even right now, I can see you drop them shoulders.
Stretchy.
You're literally you started talking. I'm gonna laugh when we watch this back. You started talking and you immediately started going like this, like your shoulders creeped up. I don't know if you can see it with my sweatshirt, but your shoulders started creeping up. Like, see, now they're nice and straight.
I
notice it with my jaw. I don't know if you notice it. I tend to, I will pinch my jaw and then I'm like, why does my face hurt? And then I'm like, oh, I've been stressed.
I think that's why I have a headache. I think I'm grinding my teeth at night.
I think I am too. That's a whole nother conversation.
Terrible.
I wake up and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And then I'm like, all right. Anyways, okay. Yes.
So I think the reason I haven't gotten back into it now that I love that we're deep diving into this because this will help change it is right now it feels like I've fallen off the wagon. I have to physically get back to it.
You just said you feel pudgy and that you don't feel comfortable in your clothes. You didn't say, oh, I've been, really anxious or I've been really stressed. Your first thing was, I feel pudgy and I don't feel good in my clothes.
That was a good catch. That was a good catch.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Thanks.
I know, now that we're talking about it, that's like the opposite. That's what kept me yo-yoing for years, going on, falling off, going on, falling off. And then I started doing non-scale victories, like my Instagram handle. But that's the only reason that I stay consistent is when it's a non-scale victory, when it's my anxiety. So I think if I flip and focus on the number one thing of it being for my mental health, that's what's kept me consistent for 4 years, and that's what would get me back on the train of working out. I catch myself saying it.
I was gonna say, do you tell yourself? Do you have to say it out loud?
I think either I journal about it, I talk to my therapist about it, or basically this, where it clicks in my brain like, oh, you're doing this. Because until 2 seconds ago, I didn't realize that the number one thing why I'm trying to get back in is because I feel pudgy. So once I realize that, it kind of goes, people don't change. I always say this, people don't change until they're sick of their own shit. And so until I realize what I'm doing, then it goes, oh, now I'm sick of this and I'm going to change. But like, if you don't know why you're doing it, I just thought like, why can't I get back into working out? The reason is because I'm trying to do it the wrong way.
You've helped me with that. I'll tell you, this will just be a good kudos to you. So for everyone else, I was a collegiate athlete, played all basically 3.5 years of college. Graduating from college, I stopped working out because I was like, all right, job and this and that. And I had been on such a strict regimen for college sports and even in high school, like I was a dual sport plus club plus this, like I was always in like, I could never get above 125 pounds. I could eat whatever I wanted. I could never get above 125 pounds. I am now, not by much, but I still am, which I'm like, yay. But I didn't work out for so long, and I had an injury, and I had this, and I kept making the excuse. So I basically went 8 years without working out. And luckily, like, just from good genetics, like, I haven't gained a bunch of pounds. I also eat really small portions and stuff like that too. So it's like a combination of the two. But I started going on hikes, or I started doing stuff with you, and I was like, I forgot how good this feels when it's not something that was motivated by, I have to do this because of my sport. And so I started to hate it, because it wasn't like I'm working out for me to feel better. It was like, I'm not lifting enough. I'm not doing enough reps. I'm not, going fast enough. And that was always the reason why I couldn't do X, Y, or Z, or because my body was in pain because of X, Y, and Z. So it was like, I didn't have a good relationship with working out. I did it so I could compete. And so when I wasn't competing, I go, why the hell do I got to keep doing this? Like, that makes no sense. So recently you sent me Body Lava. Shout out, shout out Body Lava. And I really like it because it's body weight. It doesn't hurt. It's kind of at your own pace, but it's still enough that in 20 minutes it kicks your ass. And especially for someone like me, single mom, I don't have time to go to the gym. There's nowhere to fit this in. And so that was always my excuse too. It was like, when am I supposed to go? Like, I have the kids and then they go to bed. I can't leave my house. It has to do something at my house, and, blah, blah, blah. Excuse A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? You got me into this, and I haven't done it consistently. I had to change that, because I go, well, if I don't do it 3 days a week and I mess up 1 week, then I'm like, well, all right, well, I already messed it up. So like, why am I going to keep going? I had to change it to go, I had a shitty day today. I'm doing a workout. So I don't even know. I do it like once or twice a week, give or take. But I go, I'm really overwhelmed and my brain is not functioning great. I'm going to do a workout.
Yeah.
And I have been telling James, or I tell you, and I go, I have to do one tonight, because it gets to the nighttime, and then I go, but I'm just tired and I just want to go to bed. And him or you, if I'm talking to you, he'll go, you said you were stressed, like you said you were going to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I did. I said I was going to do it. And so now it's every time I've done it, I go, wow, I feel good. I feel better. Great. I'm going to go take a shower and go to bed. And I feel better mentally, versus I think I look good in my body. I feel good about my body, which is why I think that's out of the way for me. I'm not doing it to be like, hot mom, MILF alert. Like, no. Like, that is... Sure, thanks, the best friend giving me compliments. But I think that's a big thing for you is to go, wow, I did this and I mentally feel better, not like, wow, my body looks better, because that's not going to change overnight, and that's how you're gonna flip-flop. So yeah, kudos to you that you flipped my mindset to not be, oh, I have to work out so I look good. It was, I have to work out so I feel good, or I'm gonna be a sack of potatoes. Would being held accountable help you? Yes. You used to be my little accountability partner to be like, did you do it? Yep. I think that really helps me, because if not, I won't keep myself accountable unless I know that somebody else is also knowing that I'm supposed to do this. Because I won't lie to you. I won't lie. That's just not who I am. But I'll lie to myself. I think everybody does. Everybody lies to themselves. I'll lie to myself and tell myself, oh, you'll do it next time, or it's fine, it doesn't matter. But if I told you I was going to do it and then you asked me, oh, fuck, all right, now I really have to do it. Yep. Like, damn it.
I mean, that was the biggest thing of why I loved when I joined formerly Beachbody, now Body. Like, they had the community aspect, and that's what helped, is like that accountability, that somebody else, because you'll lie to yourself all day. If nobody knows, like, what you're doing, the accountability is huge.
All right, well, here's me saying I'm gonna be your accountability buddy.
Yeah, I had to talk it out, because the fuck, I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know.
That's why we gotta talk. We are talk it out people. We have discovered this. I can talk to you as if, and you don't have to even answer. Okay, that's really half the time how we solve our problems, is I talk to you or you talk to me for like 20 minutes and you go, well, it could be this. Well, what if I'm doing this? And then what if I'm going here? Well, what about this? And then we go, oh shit, I think I figured it out. Or kind of like what we just did. You supplement it with 1 or 2 questions and then I go, shit. Like,
Yep.
so me telling you about all the appointments and stuff and me feeling, I was like, I don't know what I'm feeling or whatever. And you were like, well, let's talk this out. And then I'm like nervous. And if I don't do it, like I'm going to leave or I'm going to quit. Like I won't go if I don't schedule them like either back to back or right away. So again, backstory for everybody else, toxic relationship does not do well for your own health.
Absolutely not.
For anybody. So eventually, as this relationship continued, I stopped brushing my teeth, which is gross. It's disgusting, but we're here and we're honest.
Yeah.
I stopped brushing my teeth. I stopped taking showers. Like I was maybe taking a shower or a bath like once or twice a week. Like it was not an everyday thing. I was barely eating. I wasn't sleeping really well. Like everything about me went down because I was in survival mode. And we've talked about this with me and you. Like when you're in survival mode, like you were doing everything you can to survive at the moment. And so all the other stuff went away. I mean, I was also taking care of 2 infant twins. Like two infant twins, two little babies. Yeah. And so they became priority over my own self. And until I realized I have to take care of myself to be able to take care of them, which also kind of led to me leaving and emotions and all the things, right? So now that we're past that and we're here, and obviously I'm much healthier now, I'm way better all around than what I was a few years ago. But unfortunately, after 6-7 years of not taking care of yourself, like that catches up with you. So it was like having to go to the dentist now and be like, you have all these cavities and you need this and you need this and you need this and you need this. Like I've never had great teeth, so that also doesn't help. But I was feeling ashamed that there's something wrong with me, that now I have to go back and get this stuff fixed. And you were like, why? Like, why are you? So that, I mean, doctor's appointments, like even just getting healthier with me eating and taking care of my body. So I'm not just eating chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese every day. I still do it a lot, but it's not every day.
That's all we need. We need improvement. That's perfect. But yeah, you were feeling kind of weird and feeling like you didn't want to tell everybody that you were going to the dentist a lot. And I kind of asked why, and you said, I don't know, it's kind of this, and maybe it's this, and taking time off work. Like, of course, that always plays a factor into it. And you said something, and I wish I could remember what you said, but I sent a voice message back being like, are you embarrassed to tell them? And you were like, and I kept talking, of course, because I rambled for another, 5 minutes. But you were like, you came back and said something along the lines of, yeah, I feel something's wrong with me, or I feel like people aren't going to get it. And not everybody gets going through a toxic relationship. I would hope that most people don't have to do that. Like, I would love that most people, unfortunately, you and I are on the boat that we did, but, I would love that people don't. But I think the people that don't get it are the people that say, just leave, just leave. Like, that's not advice. That's kind of a weird demand. And 2, it really minimizes, the complexity of an abusive relationship in kind of any sense of emotional, physical, mental, whatever. And I think people don't get, it changes your brain chemistry. It doesn't really, you can't just leave because you don't see it until eventually you go, oh, I'm not taking care of myself. This isn't what I want anymore. You talked about this last podcast of, it's so hard to not only recognize it, but then, okay, I'm going to do something about it.
Well, I think in what you said earlier, too, about people have to be fed up with their own shit. You can never tell somebody, oh, just do this and just do this. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. You have to want to do it for you. And I think that was the big thing is now I want to do it for me. The workouts I want to do for me. I want to feel better. I want to take care of my teeth so I'm not in pain, or I don't have this or I don't have that, right? I want to go take care of myself now because now I have the mental ability to do so. I have the mental space to go, great, my kids are taken care of. They're safe. They're healthy. I have a house. I have this. I know. Now I can go, all right, that's all taken care of. I have all these great people around me. I have a great support system. Now let me take care of me. So now I need to schedule these appointments. And I think that was the thing as I go in the relationship or even in life, it was always Bri's on the top. She's one of the top this. She's smart. She's athletic. She's this. She's that. So you get all these high standards. And then I go, well, if I have to go to the dentist or if I have to go to the doctor or if I have to do this, let's just not say anything because then they're going to think that I'm not good enough and I'm not going to meet their standards and I'm not going to meet this standard and I'm not going to meet. And it's like, that is such a rule that I put on myself that is such a rule that I go, wow, if I have to go to the dentist, which is normal, I have to go to the doctor, which is normal.
Yep.
That people are going to think that I am not good enough. And so if I either just don't tell them or if I just don't go and pretend that everything's fine, then I'm still good enough. Mm-hmm. And I think that still just like loops back to being told that I'm never going to find anybody. I'm not good enough. Why am I incapable of doing this? You're inadequate. You're this, you're that. Like it's all that negative talk that I heard for so long.
Yep. To
now be like, this is fine. I need to flip it. Like this is fine. Why is it a big deal if I have to go here or go here? And I had to talk it out with you because I was like, I'm feeling it and I couldn't explain. Mm-hmm. Here we go talking about emotions. I was feeling it and I go, why am I feeling this way? Because logically it doesn't make sense.
Yep.
But my body is having a completely different reaction. And I think that is hard for people to understand too, is you do it, I do it. I think a lot of other people hopefully can resonate with this of your mind is telling you this is illogical, this doesn't make sense. This pathway that your brain is going down does not make sense. But your body is literally physically reacting a different way. Your heart's pounding, you're breathing hard. Like I can feel myself like kind of like and like shut down and I'm like real like, hey, control your breath, like you gotta focus on it, like everything's fine. And then I'm like, why is my body reacting this way? But my brain is going, no, you dum-dum, this doesn't make sense anymore. And you're like, well, I don't know what the fuck makes sense now. Like my body's doing one thing, my brain says something else.
Well, it's hard to trust our brain too, because logically, and we talked about this, like we're both very, very analytical people. And so what we do is called intellectualizing our feelings, is we think about our feelings and we don't typically feel. And that's how we avoided emotions, because we just kind of analytically process, like that doesn't make sense, pretend not to feel it, even though all of this was going. And when you're in survival mode, this is haywire. Like your body is not working. You got one thing and you had two things. But you had two things to keep alive, let alone yourself. And so you learn these things, and the not good enough comes from school and having the high achievements and always being like, you're the A student. Why would you get a B when a B is very reasonable? And then you start taking these thoughts and I did this, you're doing this, I did this, you did this, we're both doing it now too, of going, is this my thought or is this a learned thought? And what is my body reacting? Because your body will tell you, your gut will tell you a lot more than your brain if you're very analytical.
Fun times.
Fun times. But it's interesting.
We're learning.
What are we doing here? Why are we talking about feelings?
We're learning. I feel like we used to say that to each other all the time, because we would have these moments where we would have this like, oh, and we'd be like, we're learning, yay! Like we're doing it. All right, so like not to flip 180, but we went like heavy. We went heavy, which is typical of our conversations, because to me it isn't heavy, but I go, wow, we went from body image to this, to this, to this. We went heavy. So to bring it a little bit lighter, what else did you do this weekend? And then I will talk about what I did this weekend, and we'll kind of end on that note.
Yeah. I got to plant my garden. I got to plant 5 broccoli, 2 butter lettuce, 30 onions, and a shit ton of carrots. And I'm really excited.
So when would they be like ready for you to harvest?
60 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds really fast. I was expecting like 6 months.
Oh, 60 days feels like way too long. I want them here tomorrow.
Oh, 60, that's 2 months.
I know.
2.
2.
You're literally going to have them by the end of March.
I guess. I'm just impatient because they look cute, so I want them to like sprout and grow.
I want to see a picture.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
You have to send a picture. And then what else did you do? Wait, do you still have your herbs? What are we calling them? Herbs. What are we calling them?
What are we calling them? What are we doing here?
What are we doing?
They are herbs. No, I have to get more because they died over like last season, and then I haven't gotten new ones. And I didn't grow any from seeds, so I'm just gonna go buy some more. But that was really fun to plant, and I got to do that. And I had a thought about the garden. Nope, doesn't matter. Anyway, we're skipping.
I have a funny story because now that we went herbs and herbs.
Yeah, go.
So I don't think you were working. No, you weren't. You weren't there because it was before I was pregnant with the boys. So you weren't there yet. No. So I had like a little baby shower type thing, but obviously everything was virtual because of COVID and all the fun things. Well, work did something really nice. So my friend who has a succulent garden picked out succulents and she planted them for me to give out to people so they could start their own like little succulent garden, because I guess that's how succulents work. It was cute. But one of the little posts in there said like aloe, or said something that had to do with like aloe, but I didn't say aloe. But it like had a cute little sign. I wish I could remember exactly what it was called. Yeah. But instead of saying aloe, I said aloe. And so I was talking about it and I was like, aloe. And then I was like, aloe. And they were like, nope, you said it. And so forever, for literally until those people left, everything was aloe, aloe, Bri, aloe. And I was like, can you guys let this die? And they were like, never. They're like, it was too funny because they were like, what'd you say? And I was like, what did I say? And I was like, aloe. And I was like, no, aloe. Or I was like, it's aloe, not aloe. And so everything was, Jesus. See, I just switched. I was like, why? And so yeah, I never lived that down. I never lived it down. It was funny. I feel like very popular for mispronouncing things, but as soon as I say it, I go, that's not right. That didn't sound right. Because funny thing about readers, when I read it, I know what this word means, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I know how to pronounce it.
1000%.
And so I feel like that's me. It's like I've read so much that not that I don't know how to pronounce things, but I just mispronounce things on a given basis. That's just what happens. So I feel like I mispronounce stuff all the time. But as soon as it comes out of my mouth, I go, oh, that was not right. That was not what that said. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm thinking about stuff or like about a word that I haven't said in a long time, like I picture the word in my head and then I say it. And so I'm saying it how I would read it and not necessarily how you would say it.
You picture it like you see like it in your...
Yep.
Like it's on a book?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't do that with words. I do that with a lot of other things. When you ask me where something is, I picture it.
Oh, I do that too. And then you have to try to describe that and you're like, can I just mentally send you this freaking picture of where it is? Because then you're like, it's next to the thing to the right of this and it's over there. And you're like, that's not helpful. But I know in my brain exactly where it is. But yeah, I do the same thing with words. Yeah. Like when I'm saying stuff, I'm trying, do you see me? I'm like, what are you laughing about? Did you kind of burp? What happened? What happened?
You'll see it on video, but I went from here and my chair just dropped.
I didn't even notice. That was funny. Do you want to fix your chair? Oh my gosh. Did you hit it by accident?
No, I haven't moved because I'm trying not to touch the mic at all. So I'm trying not to move, but
I noticed I touched something down here and I was like, God damn it, sit on your hands. Like, stop fucking touching it.
Sit on your hands like we do when we testify. Is that what this is going to be?
But we talk with our hands.
I don't know how people don't.
Like, well, we're talking about how we imagine images in our brains when stuff are. And I just told you when I'm talking about something, if I picture how it looks as if it's in a book. Yeah. Or especially if I've studied for something, like when I'm talking about it, I can picture the flashcard and I go, oh, okay. And that's what pops up. So that's where I'm like, I have read this, but pronouncing everything on that does not always come out as quickly as it pops into my brain. And I think that's why I mispronounce things. I really, truly do. Because I'm like, I know what the hell the word is. Yeah. It's just, it comes out of my mouth faster than my brain can process because I've already seen it. It's like my brain is faster than my mouth.
Yes. Oh,
my mouth can't keep up.
That's how I started this podcast. My brain was way faster than my mouth. that couldn't speak.
That is how we started it. And you're like, damn it, I know it's supposed to come out and it just wasn't making it. Okay,
I
so
used to call it like a picture memory, like where I could see the flashcard, because some people don't see things like that. They don't see things in their brains like that. And I think that's the most interesting conversation, but we don't have to get into that right now. We were talking about gardens.
We were talking about what you did this weekend and we went here. But if you are somebody who doesn't do that and you have some other form, can you message us? Can we talk to you? Because
Please.
I want to know how your brain functions.
Oh my God. Can we have a guest on here?
We could. Seriously, if somebody wants to be a guest on here, please let us know. I will talk to you about everything. But if you don't picture things like we just discussed, I want to talk to you.
Please tell me. I want to know, because this is all I know. And so I would love to hear somebody else's view of that.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Good.
What else did you do this weekend besides
this weekend? So we did the garden, and then my neighbor lives in so I live on a property with a couple different neighbors, and so the neighbor doesn't have any storage at her house. It's a cute little pre-made log cabin. It's really cute and adorable, but literally one closet in her bedroom, and then one tiny hallway closet. So we were putting up a Rubbermaid shed that my landlord purchased and whatever. And so we put it up, and then we put it on plastic and pallets, and then we did wood, and then we put cedar down. We did pavers, we did gravel. I kind of already talked about this, but we made this whole little outdoor backyard oasis thing, and it's so cute. But we did that.
It is super cute. I saw a picture of it. I was like, damn.
Did you see the final?
I did. It looks really good. It looks really good. That's why I was like, how did they do this all in a day? Literally 24 hours.
Well, putting up the shed and getting the pad level and everything yesterday, and then today was the cedar, the rocks, and the pavers. Did you see it on Hunter's story? He literally moves just so fast. I don't know how.
But it's he has to have the know-how to do that stuff. If I tried to do that, yeah, I could go buy it, and sure I could do it if I saw a picture, but it would take me so long to be like, where is this here? Where is this there? And I feel like he has such an innate, oh, this would look good here, and it would look good here, and this is aesthetically pleasing to do this, and these rocks will do this, and this here, and so then it's ta-da, done. And you're like, great, that looks wonderful, but it would take me so long to do it.
He's just truly the handiest person I have ever met. He can look at something and be like, yes, that's level and not level, and it'd be right. He is just innately, like you said, innately talented in that way, but he's also been doing stuff, building cars, building wood for so many years. And so he just, if I don't know a question about something like that, what is this truck carrying, what is the semi-truck carrying? He'll know. He's just so handy and smart and makes things look easy. He's like, you just cut it like this. And I'm like, nobody cuts like this.
You just go like this. So those are your two fun things you did this weekend?
Yes, and that's what I did. And then the not fun thing was grocery shopping, which is how this whole started. So besides
that's how you were overwhelmed this morning.
Yeah, that's why I was real overwhelmed. So besides that, what did you do this weekend?
So I had the kids this weekend. So we went to a Play Street Museum, which is really cool. It's called the Play Street Museum. They're all over, but basically it's they only allow 20 kids at a time into an hour, hour and a half. Yeah, 8:30 to, I don't know, whatever. An hour and a half, 2 hour, basically a play period. 20 kids, and it's it has little buildings, little blocks. It has a whole bunch of just hands-on activity for the kids. And so, yes.
Is it kind of similar to the place that I went to in North Carolina with my nephews?
Yes.
It's they have little doctors and little sheep and little not stations, but they're all kind of locked in a place, but they can run around and play with all the different toys and activities and whatever. Yes.
So you go in, it's one building. You go in, there's a little gate. They check in, they can go in, and you sit, and they all over, and you don't have to worry about, they can't go anywhere. There's one exit.
Yep.
There's only 20 people in here, so there's not a constant ebb and flow of people coming in and out and in and out and in and out. Because that's a big thing. Is it's if people are going in and out, in and out, in and out, how easy is it for somebody to snag a kid and go out at the same time or come in and this, like, that's something that I like because I don't have to freak out when I'm there. It's really relaxing because you truly can just sit and drink your coffee, and there's this one area that the kids can play, and that's it. Yeah, no, that's what it is. So we did that. I also had them make a little like ceramic heart, so you could buy like extra stuff for them to do there. So then they painted little ceramic hearts for me for my birthday.
Love.
And it says, you know, so and so loves mom, so and so loves mom, but they got to paint it with their own colors, and it was really cute. So I'm really excited to get those back. And then we came home, and it was so beautiful this weekend. It was so nice.
So nice. And
my kids are outdoor kids, so like it being cold the last couple months, they're like, I like the cold. The cold's nice. And I'm like, you cannot go outside when it is 25 degrees outside. No. I hate to break it to you. Like, no, it's cold. Like, play inside. Like, we'll play outside a little bit, but play inside, like, please. And so it was like, what, 72, 75? It was great. So
yeah,
I was like, hey, you guys want to go ride your bikes? And for their birthday, they got these cute, they're called Champion bikes. So it's actually really nice. They're really expensive, but they're really nice. So they're really expensive. They don't have training wheels. They're pedal bikes. And the boys have had balance bikes since they were like 2. So balance bikes are lower to the ground. Yeah, so there's no pedals, and it helps to teach kids about balance. So these bikes are step up. They have pedals. But if you remember regular bikes, there's 2 brakes at the handles, one for the front wheels and one for the back. And if you hit the front wheels, you go head over handlebars. Yep. Yeah, you go head over handlebars, which I don't want my 4-year-olds doing.
Nope.
But they're good at balance, and they're good at pedaling. So this is called a Champion bike. It's actually lower to the ground. It's easier to pedal on and to balance, but the brakes, there's only one, but it brakes both tires evenly. So when they brake, it slows down the whole bike, and it's not a abrupt stop. Anyway, so the boys took to it really fast. They are on it. They go. They get themselves going. Like, they nail it. So we rode bikes for like 2 hours, but then I realized I can't keep up with them on my feet. I can't keep up with them up and down the street. I was running too much, so I got on a ripstick. There's actually this really funny story with this lady. So I got on this ripstick, and she's walking her dog, older lady. Walking with like 70s, right? She's walking her dog. She's really cute. I'm on this ripstick with these 2 kids on the bikes, and she goes, are they yours? And I'm like, yeah, they're mine. I was like, what? Not that a 30-year, like almost 30-year-old, I mean, I have another year, whatever, close to 30, a mom can't be on a ripstick, but it probably looks a little weird because I don't know how many other moms can get on a ripstick and just go.
She probably thought you were like the babysitter or something like that.
Like an older sister. That's what I was thinking. So I was like, yeah, they're mine. And she was like, oh my God, twins. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, me and my sister didn't find out we were identical until we were 50. So she was like, I have a twin sister, but they didn't know they are identical. Different types of twins. Di twin. So if there's 2 placentas, 2 sacs, they can be identical, but you don't know unless you do a blood test, which they don't really do up front all the time. But like the type of twins that I had, so the mono di, 1 placenta, 2 sacs, or 1 placenta, 1 sac, they have to be identical. So you know for sure that they have to be identical if they're mono or mono di twins. But if they're di twins, they can be boy-girl twins, they can be girl-girl, boy-boy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're identical. So they did whatever Ancestry and Me or blah, 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 and found out that they were identical at 50, which that's I was like,
crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
When you first told me that story, I thought they didn't know they were twins, and I was like, how? But you said specifically identical twins.
Yes. Yeah, so
don't
obviously
they look alike?
That I don't know, but
right?
Some people just go like, if you look really close to your sister, like some brothers and sisters look really similar, or some sisters look really similar, but that doesn't necessarily mean obviously you're not identical if you're different. So they might look close, because it's like, I don't know, you've met my kids and been around them enough.
They look exactly the same. You
some
take
people
me away for 2 months. I don't know, unless they are standing next to each other. I see them all the time, but
see, some people some people, and I'm like, maybe this is just people being ignorant, but some people go, oh, are they brothers? And I'm like,
No.
they
Absolutely
literally are
not.
the same person. Like, they obviously have very different personalities, but they are the same person. Unless you know them and you know what to look for. Like, their teachers struggle with it at school all the time. They have to look
Yeah.
at their glasses to see what letter is on the side of their glasses to know who's who. But anyway, so she was really sweet. So she was like, how old are they? And I was like, oh, they're 4.5. And she was like, they're killing it on these bikes. And I was like,
Yeah.
thanks. Like, proud mom moment. Like, thanks. So that was fun. So we rode bikes for a really long time, and then mom and dad surprised me today, and they were like, "Well, if they're riding bikes," because I was like, "Oh, I'll look into getting me a bike to go on trails and stuff with the boys as they get older. Like walking a mile isn't really working because they don't want to walk that far, but they will bike
Yep.
far if they're riding for like 2 hours already." So I was like, oh, looking to get in a bike so I could take them to trails and we can ride our bikes on trails. And so mom and dad basically got me a bike for my birthday today. So that was a birthday present for me. So I got a new bike so I can ride with them.
What color is your bike?
Blue.
Blue, not green.
Blue. No, they didn't. They only had so many options. And so it's like a teal. So it's not like a blue. I would say it's like a teal. So it does. It's like a blue green. It's cute.
That's fun.
It'll do what I need to do, and it wasn't $300. That was my thing. Is I was like, give me $100 bike, please.
Yeah.
Like, do not buy me a $300 bike. So, $100 bike. It was good. It'll be great. So that was the one thing. And then, speaking of crafts and all the fun things, so I was making those signs for the boys' room.
Yeah.
So I was redoing it in Marvel Superheroes. And so I made, this goes into like crafts. So, right, like Hunter has the innate thing to go, oh yeah, you just do that. I feel like now, since I've done crafts for so long and mom has all the machines, I will look at something and be like, oh, I can make that. Like, I can do that. And so like, yeah, it's going to take more time and more effort, but unless I can find it really cheap online, if I can make it, I'm going to make it now. So it's like, I'm finally getting there.
Yeah.
So, right, there's 6 of them. So we have Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, Hulk, Spider-Man, and Thor.
That was great. Good job.
Right? Nailed it.
Nailed it.
All of them. So I painted them before, but I got them on the wood pieces. I painted the background. Now I just have to glue them.
Yep.
But they're super excited about that because they were like, this is going in my room. And I was like, yeah. So it gave them their little playtime today, and it gave me my little craft time, which was nice. So we crafted a little bit, and I was really happy to get those kind of done so I can work on gluing them.
Well, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, then you'll be able to ride with kids, like you said, on trails and just keep up with them in the neighborhood, and maybe an old lady won't think you're the babysitter and be like, oh yeah, those are her kids.
I was literally cracking up that she was like, are they yours? And I'm like, yep, they're mine, thanks.
I have one more follow-up question to the twin thing. They knew they came out at the same time, and they look the same. I understand, like, not knowing, like, your brother and sister, like, they look alike, but these two came out at the same time, and you didn't think, they didn't go, yeah, we're probably identical. I guess DNA testing wasn't around.
They might have. I don't think there was as much knowledge back then, to be honest, about twins. Like, I think back then it was just, it was what it was. Like, I don't know. I think of the technology we have now, and I can tell how far it's come. I know how far it's come for forensics, let alone for maternal fetal medicine.
Yeah.
So, right. So, like, for me, it was like immediately they knew what type of pregnancy it was, and then you immediately went high risk and you went to a maternal fetal medicine specialist from 16 weeks until you gave birth.
Yeah.
And I was there every 2 weeks until 32 weeks, and then I was there every week. So it was like you went all the time. And then but I've known people who are like, oh, back when I had twins, they didn't even know like I had twins. It was like, because if you just do the Doppler, right? Like they didn't have the, I don't know when the transvaginal ultrasound came into effect, but it's like, I don't think that came into effect
1999,
80 years ago, right? Like I don't think 80 years ago there was a transvaginal ultrasound. Like I think, like I don't remember my mom talking about that. Like she was just like, no, they did the blood test and great, you were pregnant, and then they did the Doppler. And as long as that was fine, that's freaking nuts to me, because I'm like, you had so many ultrasounds to tell, like, the anatomy of the baby to make sure there was no anomalies. You had the genetic blood test. You had this blood test. You had this. You had this. You had this. Like, there's so many things now that I just truly don't think they either, one, knew they were having twins until 2 babies came out, or if they did know there was twins. Because it's like, even with the Doppler, like, unless you know what you're looking for, like, you could be like, oh, heartbeat here. Like, I don't know if you could tell. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I don't know if you could be like, oh, you have twins. Like,
yeah.
So I just don't think medicine was what it was back then to know the type of twins and stuff. Now I'm going to be curious. Now I'm going to deep dive. I'll let you guys know next time what I find. But, yeah, I mean, you could even go, oh, we kind of look similar. And it's, you know, it's this and it's that and it's this and it's that. But, like, you don't know if you're truly identical until you get a DNA test.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. Well, hopefully nobody on this podcast finds out that they have a twin at 50. Thank you so much for yapping it with us, and we will catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.